What's happening, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Get Moving 4-Week Challenge, Week 1, Day 2. The focus for today is going to be continuing to compound that awareness of the breath. We're going to work on your calves with the foam roller a little bit, transition into a few dynamic mobility patterns, and of course, touch base with the core. Now, in addition to your trusty foam roller, all we're gonna need is a broomstick, and a bench is optional. I'm using it for the first drill just to give you guys a better vantage point, and that's exactly where we'll start. So we'll place the roller off to the side, and our breath work today is going to be from a laying position. So go ahead and find a comfortable laying position on the floor, or if you have a bench big enough to support you like this one. The idea here for today is going to be to inhale big, and fill the belly up with air. And then exhale and draw the belly button toward the spine, but go ahead and eliminate the space underneath your lower back. That's why we're doing this in a laying position, because you become aware of the alignment of the pelvis and the space underneath your lower back. So let's do a few quality reps like that. Inhale, fill the belly up with air. Exhale, tuck that pelvis and eliminate that space underneath your lower back, drawing the belly button to the spine. You should feel a nice contraction of the midsection here. 4 more like that. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, feel the belly expand as much as you possibly can. Exhale, engage the core, draw the belly button to the spine. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Filling up, hold. Belly button to spine, contract as much as we can. And flatten out here. Last one, let's make it the best one. Forcing all the air out. Not too shabby, guys. We can go ahead and pop on up. I'm gonna get rid of the bench here, and then we'll get right into the foam rolling portion of the session. So today we're gonna work on the calves a little bit. So we're gonna set up here on the floor. I'm gonna work with one calf at a time, and I'm gonna support myself with my hands. And starting at the bottom of the calf, so right around where the Achilles is, the idea here is to just work that foam roller up and down the calf. We're gonna go for about a minute here on each side, maybe a minute and a half. And again, we're just scanning for tension, scanning for tight spots all along the surface area of the calf. So we can turn the foot out, turn the foot in to make sure we really get a thorough scan of the entire calf. And when you feel some tender spots, which I just ran into right now, I'm going to shorten, I guess, the stroke, if you will, shorten the pattern, shorten the roll, and make it more acute, and just pause right over that tension, right over that tender spot, until I notice a change in that tissue, and then I'll continue to work with more broad strokes up and down the calf. Again, improving blood flow, facilitating lymphatic drainage, relieving tension all the way up the kinetic chain are just a few of the benefits of taking a few minutes a day to show your body a little bit of love with your dusty foam roller. So another few seconds on this side, and we'll go ahead and transition, working the full sweep from where the Achilles is all the way up the calf, rotating the foot in, making sure we touch base with every bit of surface area. And then we'll go ahead and switch here. And I like to take my time, a couple minutes on each side, working one leg at a time, just to make sure I show the leg the love it deserves. A lot of times, you see people try and speed through their foam rolling. both legs and they're moving really fast and they just don't reap the benefits. So we want to maximize on this. Want to maximize. It's only a couple of minutes to begin with. You want to get the most out of it. So again, we're just scanning for tender spots. And when you find it, pause, kind of lean into it a little bit, put a little bit more of your weight on it. And as you begin to feel a change in that tissue, you can continue to scan up and down the calf. Working your breath here, taking your time. We'll go for about another 30 seconds or so. So just working through your tender spots. One of the analogies I like to use with my clients is that, along the muscles of the body, there's all sorts of highways, and these tender spots are like traffic jams on the highways, and we're just going through, taking some time to get rid of the traffic jams, get rid of the tension, get rid of the tender spots. And that will affect, again, the entire kinetic chain all the way through the body, different parts of the body that are not connected to the calf directly, as well as internally. Organs, blood flow, and lymphatic drainage. Very good. Beautiful, not too shabby. So we can put the foam roller to the side. We will be using that a little bit later. From there, we're gonna go into a fundamental mobility pattern here. So we're gonna work a step into a twist. So you wanna find as much space as you can in between the feet here. If you're working on a surface that perhaps didn't allow you to ground yourself, you can use shoes. I'm going barefoot here today just to maximize the connection of my body to the earth. But the idea here is to find a nice broad split stance. Legs are gonna be in line with my hips. And in this case, if my left leg is up front, I'm going to rotate to my left side and open the hands out wide to a capital letter T. Eyes on this back hand. From there, I'll simply switch and rinse and repeat on the opposite side. Forcing that air out as I rotate. And we'll work about 5 of these on each side. Keeping the legs in line with the hips. You want to be strong on the ball of the back foot, rooted through the front foot. And opening the hands nice and wide. Really engaging all the way through the fingertips. Staying rooted through the bottom of both feet, keeping nice alignment, shoulders right over the hips. Getting a little pause here at the end of that rotation, maximizing as much as you can. Let's do one more on each side here. If you are working on carpet, if you're at the house, you're working on carpet or on turf, you're probably better off not going in the socks. Turf, carpet are not friendly with socks. They don't mix well. So if you want to go barefoot, which again I recommend, just make sure you're on the appropriate surface area or you're either on bare feet altogether without socks. From there, let's go into a quad pull with a reach. So I'm going to grab a hold of my right foot, reach up with the left hand, and if it's available, I'm just going to get up on that left tippy toe. And then we're just gonna rinse and repeat on the opposite side. Getting a little tug here on this left foot. And then I'm gonna work my exhale as I lift into my tippy toe. Really reaching up and engaging through the fingertips. Testing our balance here a little bit today. Work about 6 of these on each side. I'm gonna get one more. Beautiful, good, good, good. We can roll the shoulders a little bit. Very, very nice. Now from there, we're gonna work into fundamental hip hinge pattern. So hip hinge is simply the ability to bend at the hips without compromising the integrity in the spine, without bending or rounding. So to establish this initially, a broomstick is a great tool. You want to bring the broomstick behind the body, and you want to make contact with the broomstick and the body at 3 points: the back of the head, the upper back, and your butt crack. And here I have my left hand with my knuckles holding the stick in place, and my right hand up by my head. I'm gonna draw the elbows back, feet are gonna be in neutral, that is hip width apart, toes are forward. And all I'm gonna do is bend at the hips here, keeping a nice neutral spine, making sure to not lose contact with those 3 points in the stick, and then stand tall. Inhale, hold on the way down, pause here, feeling a nice stretch in the hamstring, keeping the elbows open, and standing tall. And we'll do 5 reps on each side here with the alignment of the arms on each side. So 3, 2 more. 4. And 5, very nice. And then we'll simply switch. So my left arm is gonna go up top now for balance, right arm is gonna go down low. Same rules apply, you wanna keep the stick rooted on those 3 points and drive the elbows back, opening everything up here, and we're gonna get 5 reps in this configuration. And then it's a good opportunity for you to notice, does it feel any different for you with the switch in the arms? Slight bend to the knees here, but we're really working into the hamstrings. 2 more reps. Pause. And then stand tall, nice and smooth. Not too shabby, guys. Great introduction to the hip hinge pattern. So from there, we're gonna go into a dead bug, which again is another fundamental core exercise that's going to make you more aware of the alignments of the joints in the body and the breath. So very similar to how we started the session with that fundamental breath, we're gonna bring the knees into 90 degrees, hip width apart, and toes are going to be pointing back toward the face. You wanna keep the knees in this alignment the entire time, not allowing any shifting or the knees to come together. Laying flat, we're gonna locate that spot underneath the low back, that space, and again, we're gonna tilt the pelvis, eliminate that space, and engage the core. From there, we're gonna push hands onto knees and knees back into the hands, and we're gonna push simultaneously, creating a nice force, an opposing force that's gonna keep this core really engaged and keep that space between the floor and the lower back eliminated. And we're just gonna hold this here for time. So we're gonna go for about a minute. So, regulating the air in and out, pushing knees into hands and hands back into knees. This is a lot tougher than it looks. Again, aware of the breath and aware of the space underneath your lower back, aware of that pelvic alignment, aware of that core engagement, aware of the alignment of the legs. And you should start to work up a little bit of a shake here. That's totally cool, it's totally normal. Persevere through this. This is a fundamental cornerstone of the masterpiece that we're gonna be putting together here over the next 4 weeks. Let's go for another 15 seconds. Three, 2, and time. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You can take a well-deserved rest here for a couple of breaths. Bring the knees into the chest and kind of rock up and back on the spine. I know that those dead bugs are much tougher than they look. So from there, we're gonna go back into our quadruped position. So hands and knees, hands are gonna be shoulder width apart, knees are gonna be hip width apart. And the idea here is going to be to reach with the right arm and the left leg, hold here for a beat, making sure that it's a nice straight line from the fingertips through the elbow, shoulder, all the way back through the hip, knee, and ankle. And then we're gonna bring the elbow to the knee. So inhale, reach, opposite limbs, keeping nice alignment, spine and the head. And then force the air out as you bring that elbow to the knee. 3, 4, and we'll get 10 on each side. 5, 6, really flexing those left toes back up toward my face and kicking through the back wall, really engaging that glute on the lifted legs. Beautiful. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides here. Hold for a beat here at the top initially to make sure you got nice alignment, and then force the air out as you bring elbow to knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful, not too shabby at all. And then from there, we're gonna work one more core pattern here, and that's just a simple side plank. So we're gonna find our alignment, and we have a couple of different options here. The first one is to work off the outside edge of your foot, strong with the shoulder right over the elbow, and then just lifting the hips. So lifting the hips up and driving them forward. Now, if this is tough, you have the option to drop the knees and bring the feet behind you and work with a shorter lever. I'm gonna push myself here with you guys today, so I'm gonna go ahead and work this extended position, and we're gonna go for a minute on each side here. So I'm working strong on the edge of my down leg here, edge of the foot on the down leg. Eyes are in neutral. Let's get the foam roll out of the way to give me a little bit of room to work here. And we're on the clock. Shoulders stacked right over the elbow, hips up and driving through. Regulating the breath to maintain core engagement and alignment. Almost at that 1 minute mark. If you have to pause, if you have to regress the variation, whatever you have to do here to stay with us. Lifting up and forward. 3, 2, and time. Nice. Not too shabby here. Let's switch sides. So again, finding nice strong base here. Elbow stacked right underneath the shoulder. I'm gonna go in this extended position on the outside edge of my right foot in this case. Up we go, and we are on the clock. Everything is in neutral, everything is engaged. We're aware of where the breath is going. Fired up here in the midsection. Aware of our alignment. We are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, guys. Let's get after it here. The home stretch. Beautiful. We're about halfway home here, guys. Stick with me. Again, if you gotta hop out, hop right back in. If you gotta regress the variation, there's no problem with that at all. Just stay with us. Driving that elbow into the earth, lifting the hips up and forward. 12 seconds. 3, 2, and time. Woo! Not too shabby, guys. I'm feeling great after that one. I can imagine you are too. Again, big round of applause and pat on the back here for making the time for yourself. It's critical. Awesome session today, and I look forward to catching you guys right back here tomorrow for day 3.